Alright everyone, welcome to the last part of this dashboard. In the previous video, we have actually taken a look at how we got this dashboard created from the scratch, and in this video we're going to be focusing on this particular one we have right here. So if you've not watched the previous video, please take a look at it. Before we dive in, let's see what we're about to get into. So this is the second dashboard. On the first dashboard, we have actually treated this. We created something very nice using those particular, roadmap we have right here. And the roadmap for today's dashboard is actually what I have on the screen right now. So you can pause it to take a look at it, read through it to understand it exactly, because this is what we're going to use to create the dashboard you have just seen previously. Take your time to follow every single step, and if you have not watched the video number 1, 2, and 3, it's very important. You need to actually look at that and see how we got our data transformed and clean before we actually get into this more advanced way. Let's get started. All right. If you have actually created this one with us in the third video completely, let's get into this particular sheet that is called time series dashboard, and hold our control key. Then make sure you have moved it. Once you have moved it, you're going to see this particular plus sign folder. Drop it on the plus here, and that will actually have this duplicated for you. So the reason for this is that we want to maintain the same white space at the top right here. And what we don't want to do is that we don't want to guess if this is correct or whatsoever. So how do we do that? I'm going to click on a particular object and do Ctrl A. So with my Ctrl A, I have everything highlighted. Then I will actually subtract this particular one. Then this very header we have right here, that is the Adventure Works Analysis. So I'm going to delete. So you can see what I kept here. That is nice. So with this, you can actually double click and just name this one to Dashboard 2, for example. Okay. Then the next thing I'm going to do right is that I want to keep the pivot cache I have been maintaining before now. So to do that, I just want to some kind of duplicate this analysis 1 bracket 2. Hold the control key and make sure you copy, then drag it to this plus sign. You have it. So I will put it P and C analysis. So the P&C analysis means product and customer analysis, because that is what we're about to delve into right now. Then I'm going to take off some of those ones I have over here before. So it's very simple. Hold your control key, and if you are using mouse, you can just wheel the mouse and it will give you this particular zoom in and out here, right? So I'm going to get this one off. Click on delete and have it deleted. So that is how you can actually get your pivot table deleted very easy. So now we can now show what we have right here. Then we don't actually need this. We're going to remove it, but let me show you what we are about to get into. So we are on the previous one. If I click on detail dashboard, so it's going to give us this particular dashboard here. So look over here and see what we have. So over here is actually about products, while this one below is actually about customer and their location. So you have to keep things accordingly. Don't mix them up. So let there be focus and all of that. So our first focus right now is to actually maintain how we can actually create this one here. As you can see, here is our top 5, what do I call them? Top 5 products. Here is our top five products. Then over here, we're trying to see what is the contribution of this particular top 5 we have just highlighted now. And the contribution is actually 36, approximately 37%. And other products contributed 63%, right? Then how many products do we have? We have 606 products. Out of that 606, we have sold just 51 products, and those products that are still in the store that we have not sold for once since we brought them are those ones here. You get it now. So out of 51, this particular 5 products right here contributed 35%. That actually boils down to what it is that we have selected as a slicer. So over here, we are looking at 2016. Then over here, we are looking at France. If you look at it, we are looking at France here. You get that now. So if I change the slider to like Canada, let's see what we're going to have. So you can see in Canada, we have it to be some kind of 60%, the top 5 products, which means this product is actually, moving very well. Then we can decide to clear the filter out of it. So we have clear filter. I will clear the filter from this sheet and from that other sheet. Let's try it. So as you can see, we have no filter on it right now. So let's get back to this dashboard and see what we have. So overall, we have 158 products that we have sold out of 606. Then it contributed 29 approximately to our, overall profit share. So how do you do something like this and make it some kind of well explanatory? So let's get into it. So we are right here on our new sheet. The very first thing we're going to do is to right click and some kind of show field list. Then we have this up. So we are not going to look at this on a monthly level. Instead, we are going to still maintain our profit and we go to all. So when we get into all, we can see product here and we can pick up our product name over here. Then with our product name, we have everything. I don't love to do top 3, top 4, top 5. I just love to right click and the very first thing I do is to sort from largest to smallest. I have this done. So this some kind of gives me the visibility of all the top selling products. As you can see, if I keep scrolling, this is what we have over here. So remember, this one is affected by a particular slicer, and that slicer is a slicer we have placed on it over here. We are seeing based on 2016. So what I'm going to do right now, because in this particular class, we're going to look at how we can dynamically create a particular button that will clear the whole slicer for us. Before that time comes, let's also some kind of go to the settings and bring it up. Then we clear the slicer for now, for the time being. So we don't want any slicer to be on it. Then we do the same thing to our country here. Then I'm going to do, where the heck is it? So we clear this. So if we have any slicer on month, we are going to do that as well. Then we have this cleared and we'll click on OK. So let's get back to our main analysis right now. If I keep scrolling down, you can see we have more products than usual. This is all the products that we actually have. Have you seen that? All right. So what is the next thing to do to actually do exactly what you have seen in the previous one? It's very simple. I am just going to reference this particular product name, starting from the top here. Put your equal sign and reference here. Then you stretch it to this level. So I can bring it down. And when I get like 5, so here we have 3 and the top is 2. So we've gotten our top 5 products now. So with our top 5 products, the orders would be starting from here. So we want to make it dynamic. Over here, I'm going to type here orders. Then I'll move down. Or still, I can move my order to here. Let's leave it here. So when I put my order over here, I'll put my equal sign. So look at it. The order starts from here. I'll just get it. Then I'll go down. I will have to some kind of take it down until I get to the final part where the products actually stopped. So keep scrolling down until you have that. Okay, so we're going to actually get this off. Let's scroll down again. So we have it deleted. So the reason why it goes beyond this by 2 was because we have 2 spacing over here, 1, 2, right? Then let's move to this end. So we want to actually say, here is our value. So I'm going to call this one top 5. So I'm going to call this one orders. So the top 5, let's see what is the value of the top 5. So we do the sum. Then we're going to actually capture this particular part here. So we hit the enter key. Over here, we do the sum for this one. Very simple, because we have lots of it. We're not going to drag it down. Let us do something that make more sense than doing that. So you hold your Control Shift and down arrow will highlight the whole place for you. Then you have this. So let's do this. So we can actually highlight and Control 1 to actually have it formatted. So in case you have not seen me done this in the second or in the third video, I've done this like in the second video. So where we actually look at how we can do formatting like this, or the one with $sign. So it depends on anyone you like. So you can actually copy this code that would give you the same thing, because it's not actually an inbuilt. So it is a custom number formatting. Click on OK. Then you have this. So one thing I always love to do is to come over here and click on it, then right click, go to this particular pivot table options. Then for empty cell, we want to show 0. Go to display here. We want to show if there is no value based on filter. We want to actually still maintain what we have there and let the value disappear, something like that. I think you should understand this. Then click on OK. Okay, let's get into here. So this is our main focus here. We are right here. So what is the next thing to do to have that particular kind of chart created? So we're going to come over here now, and the next thing we do is to actually create a percentage for it. Let's call this one products. Then we call this one profits. Over here, we call this one percentage. Then to find the percentage of both top 5 and the others, we're going to do sum. Oh, sorry, we don't need to do sum this time around. We're just going to take this one and divide it by the sum of the total, which is all of this here, right? So don't always forget that when you do this, you're going to copy down. You should always, lock it down. So we need to lock this down now. Your F4 key is your friend to do it for you with ease. Just go ahead and hit the enter key. Then we are going to some kind of copy it down. Control 1 to actually format it into a percentage. Just one decimal place will be okay. Then we have this. So this time around, because there is no filter, the contribution of the top 5 against other products is actually 21%. It depends on how many products we have currently. You get it. That is when you're going to mention that, okay, the top 5 contributed a lot. So for now, we can't really talk about it. So let's keep going. We have this. How do we go about this next? So we have to some kind of create a chart with this particular one we have over here. Very important. So just highlight. And let's go to the top here, click on insert. So if you don't understand the chart to be used specifically if you are just getting started, you always have this particular recommended chart to help you out. So when you click on it, it's going to recommend you a chart. And it actually gets it right 100%. So I love this. We're going to go with this. Don't go with this. You might be like, why don't I go with this one here? So going with this one will take a lot of space before the labels could actually show up. So don't always do it. So I'm going to go with this one. Then I can click on OK. All right. Based on the kind of chart I want to create, I wouldn't love to go with this one first. So let me just have it deleted for a purpose. I want to add one more insert. Then I'm going to reference this one. Then copy this one down again. I'll call this one duplicate. Duplicate. don't worry, I'm going to tell you, you're going to know why I'm doing this. Let's do that again. Go to insert. This time around, we know our chart. We can come over here and we select this one. All right. For the legends, we don't need to keep them. For this particular x-axis here, I'm going to take them off. Now, for the y-axis, as you can see, my values are sorted from highest to the lowest value, right? Based on the top 5 we've selected. But right now, as you can see, it's not really showing up well. Let's go ahead and just double click on it. Then we have this up. They click over this particular y-axis here. Once you have done that, click over here where it says axis options. Then go to axis options again. Then you can see where it says category in reverse order. Then you have this. Maybe the thing is like, what the heck are you doing? Why do you have to have these two series? Should I call it series, whatever? Okay, don't worry. You are going to know soon. I'm going to take off the grid line. Then take this off as well. Over here, I'm going to click on it and go over to this part. I want to some kind of increase it to make it as large or huge as this. All right, the weight is more cool. Then I've clicked on the top colored one here. What I'm going to do now is I want to choose the color I want to use. Then I'll go over to this, go over here. The color we have been using before to highlight is what I'm going to use, which is this one over here. Then on this one, if I click on it, what I want to activate now is actually the data label on it. Then I'll go over to data labels. I'll activate it. So as you can see, I only activated data label for any chart that has this color. Exclude this one here. So the reason why I'm doing that is that I want to some kind of, have this particular y-axis on top of my chart to make it easy. This is the best way to go about it, right? All right, let's do Control 1 again. So with Control 1 now, I am going to click over here. So once I have that click done, so let's see what we're going to do. I will go here and say category name. If I say category name, as you can see, this particular y-axis has actually reflected here. So I'll turn off the value. So the value is gone, right? Then the next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to say inside base. I've moved it inside base. That is better. Then I'm going to take off this one here. So it's gone. Can you see that? So now we have done that. So what else do we do? We have to overlap it. So make sure you click on either of those bars here. And from here, you put it to 100% overlapped. Can you see this now? This is how you create something like this. So we can reduce this and it will still look very fine. Let's cut this away from here for now. And we'll take it to our dashboard over here. So we can paste it down. This is what we have. So the reason why we have it very huge on that side was because we zoomed closely to the screen. Then I can take off the fill color, then take off the border as well. Then I have this one. Then the next thing is for we to actually, resize this. I would love to go over here. Then on the height, what I want to do with the height is 7.3. So remember, this is 13.39 on 39 for the width. So we might not have the same exact screen size, so it will be some kind of a disadvantage in that. So don't always feel like I'm not getting it the way it is. So just some kind of resize it to what really fits the screen size you have. I'm gonna place mine here. Then I can. So if you keep adjusting like this, it will keep coming. Then you can adjust this way and click over here. In this particular box you have inside it, you can reduce this one. So when reducing this one, it wouldn't affect the size of, look at it, look at what happens. If I keep adjusting this, let's say I want to adjust this one now to make this a bit smaller. So that affects the text I have inside the bars. So to disallow that now and to have something really cool, so you can decide to just click on this inner one It will only affect the bars, not actually the text you have inside it. This is what you do. Okay, in case you want to increase this, click over here and just do like, you can do 40, or let's say we do 30 is good for us. Now we have this. So you can bring this one up a little bit. So quickly, I'm going to copy this one, just duplicate it, and inside it I want to type top 5 profitable. I want to use profitable. Products. If you know for sure that based on slicers is going to change, you can always some kind of make this top 5 dynamic. Maybe it could shift to top 3 or whatever, but I'm not going to do that right here. So I want to some kind of highlight this one. I'll do Ctrl B to bold that. Then you can reduce this a little bit and bring it over to the top here. So then we are going to reduce the size a bit. So we have something like this. All right, this is what we have. Let's see what is next. We go back to our PNC. We are ready for this now. Let's actually highlight this particular part here. Then go to the top and click on insert. Then we can insert any of those charts we have over here. So I would love to go with this one. I'm going to take off all of this. I don't want this one. I don't want the legend over here. Then, because I'm going to create mine. So Ctrl X will cut it off for me. Then we take it to the dashboard we are building. This dashboard over here. Then I'm going to paste it down. So after pasting it, I want to remove the fill color and the line color. Then I click on it and I'm going to take off the line. Then we'll have something like this. All right. So I want to click here. So when you click on this, just double tap it. You're going to see the color. This color we have here will reflect over here. That shows that it has been highlighted. Then the next thing is to click on it and change the color you want to use. I want to use this color. So this color actually doesn't really mark what I want, because if I hover over it now, it tells me orders. So the orders shouldn't be highlighted. I want to just go ahead and use this color for my orders. So make sure whatever color you use come out from this very color you have for the card. So I have this color, then I click on this. Then the highlight is the top 5 is highlighted. All right. I'm going to make it a bit smaller. Let's go over to the top here, go to insert, and let's click on this one. I'm going to take up this circle. Hold your shift key down to have a perfect circle just like this. So you can position it inside it. Then I'm going to come. Thanks for learning with data decision. So if you want to take any of our courses from Excel to Power BI, so come to this particular website. The link is actually in the description box. So click on it and see how you can join any of our courses right here. Keep learning. Here, I'm going to change this one to white. Then we take off the outline. We have something like this. Though it's optional, you can use the other chart. So depends on what you want. On this one, I'm going to turn on the data label. So for the data label, I don't like what I see. I will go over here and which one? Okay, let's highlight both of them. Control 1, go to custom data label we have created before now. That is going to be this one. Or we can use the one without decimal places. That is going to be this one here. Then I click on this. So if we use the one without decimal places, we don't know what this is. So what do? Let's make a change of it. I think it would be better we go with something like this, right? this look nice. It's not up to 2 million, so it will show and make a lot of sense. So this is what we have. So the reason why we did this was because we want to position this rightly. So I can just move this around here right now. So we have this. If you want to make it thicker, hold your shift key to just do this and balance it in the middle of it. So it's going to take you time to get it done, but that is not really a problem. All right, we have this shape here. I'm going to duplicate this shape, then just resize it and make it smaller. Then over here, we turn on the formula bar. So with the formula bar on, what I'm going to do for the first time is to some kind of go ahead and pick up the percentage of my top 5. So the percentage of my top 5 is this 21% here, approximately 22%. So we have it here. Then I'll get this one duplicated for now. Inside it is going to be top 5. So top 5. So I'm going to have it over here. I want to keep the same formatting. So all I'm going to do now is to come over here and just get this one copied and bring it over here. Oh no. What did I do? Okay. So we just take it over here. So we paste it down and we get this formatting and the color for it. So we have it here. So I still want to pop my on up a little bit. All right. Here we go. Then bring this one down. So on this one, I'm going to reduce it. It's not a focus. Can you see that now? So, we have to bring in the percentage. Okay, then that percentage is going to reflect the color, but not this dark color. Let's go with this color here. That really matches the color we chose. Exactly, something like this. Then this one is going to be orders. Orders here. Align it properly. So I would like to go up here and I go to my shapes. Let's grab this. And hold your shift key down to have a perfect line drawn. So we have something like this. I can move it over here. So I'm gonna just click on that. This one will increase it for me. Then I come over here. The next thing I do is to actually increase the width to make it more thicker like this. Then I give it this same color here. You can Ctrl D. I bring this down over here. I am going to do the same thing. I'll choose this. Then I have something like this. So let's grab this here. So inside here, we're going to type profit share of the then top 5 products versus orders. That is all. Can you see this now? It's beautiful. So for my top 5, I always love to put it on highlight. So just do this, B, to bold it. Then go over here and change the color to match this. So make sure you find a place for it where it could stay. Right, that is beautiful. Then what I'm going to do right now is to just shift this inside a little bit. So check it out. This is what we have. So we have just gotten this done for our product. I've given you the icons I've used for every part of my dashboards. You can go ahead to the previous one. Today I'm going to go ahead to my previous one and copy the icon. Like this is the icon I've used over here. I'm going to copy it and use it. I don't need to go ahead and download it again. I've shown you the site to get it downloaded from, and as well you can use the one I've shared with you. So if you want to make it larger, it's your choice. You can make it bigger than this. So just make sure it sits right here. Something like this would be cool. So now it's not all about the beauty, it's about the communication. What does this particular chart convey? So as you can see, this chart here is actually talking about the top 5 products, and we have their names over here on this chart. Then we have the percentage that represent the top 5. So for other products that does not fall within the top 5, we have the percentage, and we have the representation of the color over here, something like that. Can you see that? That is beautiful. So always bring out this context and stop making people to think of like, what could this be? This is what it is. So we have gotten this covered. The next thing right now is that we want to see the KPI of the products. So I'm going to get this one duplicated and move it over to this particular part. So let's do this. Okay, let's go back to the back end here. And all we have to do now is to copy this one. So it's very easy to copy. Control Shift down arrow. So we click on copy and we can just take it to where we want to paste it right in. So I'm going to paste it over here. Let's get it off now. I'm going to paste it over here. Control V to paste it. So we are going to get off the products. Then the profit, we don't need to have it. So now let's build this from the scratch. Do we have that KPI already built? So unsold products. So in case you don't know how we got this created, let me show you. Those of you that are just getting started with me that doesn't want to go to the previous one, I go over to my pivot, power pivot here, and you can see, go to manage merges. Over here we have created it. So those are the logics, or let me say the merger. So we have all products. If I click on edit now, it's going to open the measures we've written to get this done. So all we did is just to count the rows we have in our product table, right? Then if we go to sold product here, the sold product here, we counted the key of the distinct count. We made a distinct count on our sales of fact table. The product key we have over there, we did that. So that is what we've done. So we're going to be using that. So I'm going to go and pick up my all products. So I'm going to pick up my sold product here and the unsold product we have over here. So you've seen that. So because they are not up to thousands, so we're going to have this. What I'm going to do right now is to Control 1 and change the formatting to normal number formatting. So we get this. Okay, representation matters. We have numbers. Can you make this number to look some kind of a bit sweet to read, to look at? That is it. Let's do that. What do you think? I'll get this one, duplicate it. I'll come over here and I'll type available products. So I'll make it something like this. So for my products here, I will just highlight it and do Ctrl B to actually have that on bold. So let me keep that over here for now. So Ctrl D to duplicate it. On this part of available, I'm going to highlight it and just put on sold. Sold. Ctrl D again. Then the remaining one would be unsold. Let's do unsold. Yes. So now we're going to come here, keep this one here, keep this one over here. Then click on all of them, go over here and reduce them. Yeah, to this level. Okay. So what we're going to do right now is just some kind of go to the top, go to shape format, go to align and align vertically. So we have this. All right, let's just have this one duplicated and put it all over here. Available products now will be all products. Here we go. So we shouldn't bother about the formatting right now. Let's bother about the numbers. So here is the sold one. We have the sold product. We get this one as well. We go get it. Unsold product. Okay. Now we have all of this. Let's start with this one. The space we have over here is not really much. So what I'm going to do right now is to some kind of move this up a bit. Then I'm going to move this close to it. Then I move this close to it. Then I move this. This one will be able to some kind of get into here. Then I can hold all of those three. Exclude this number here, no numbers, because I want them to have proper alignment. I'm going to align them to the right hand corner. Then I'm going to do vertical distribution. That is better. So we have this. So for those ones here, I would love to use a different color to mark them. Can you see that now? So they're not bold, they're not going to be bold. So the sold one here is 158 products sold. So it matches those colors. It's conveying some messages. All right, we have those, right? Let's go to the top here, insert, and we go to shapes. I'm going to take up this particular rounded corner shape here and just get it right here, not too big. So make sure you position it rightly. All right, go Ctrl+1, no line. And this one, we're going to choose something like this. Should we need a dark or less dark? Okay, let's go with this. So I'm going to bring this one down. So bring this one over here. So click on them. So we align them to the left hand corner. They're going to be properly aligned. And this is what we have. So always keep this one on highlight. I want to go with this same color we have over here. You get that now? So you have downloaded the images. You can use them. But for now, I'm going to copy from the previous one I've worked on. So I'll copy the images. Can you see them now? So you can use the image you have on your folder. And I've shown you this site to get images from. And that is what was the name of the site? flaticon.com. You can get your image from there. So you just align this properly. So you can see this. This is more better than just putting numbers down. So make it some kind of excited to read, like seriously. So we get this one off. Then we duplicate this one and bring it over here. So we're going to reduce this one. On this part here, on this new card we have just gotten here. So what we're going to show is the profit by product colors. As I've told you earlier before now, what we are going to be doing is just to make sure this particular line is filled up with anything that has to do with the product information. So while the below one would have to do with the customer, details, right? So don't mix it up. Don't put what belongs to customer over here and come over here and have what belongs to, products or something else. So let's go. So we go back over here now. We are going to get this one copied. So we copy this one and drop it there. So remember, we don't have anything that's related to what we want on the measures we have over here. I'm going to get off the measures. Then I'll go for the profit. Our profit was calculated using M code, right? In Power Query. So we go for our profit. Here is our total profit here. We're going to go back to our product, and here is it. We go for the color. We bring it up to the rows area. Then we have something like this. So you can always do and sort largest to smallest, and that gives you something like this. As you can see, gray and silver black does not have any transaction, so we're gonna actually have to hide them. We don't want to keep them. So we click on this, we locate this one, we actually have it hidden. So they are hidden, we don't want to show them, so we filter them off. Then after this now, I want to come over here because I want to highlight some part of my chart, right? So I will definitely copy this one to this side. Then I do this copy down. This is beautiful. All right. I always want to some kind of keep it clean. So what I'm going to do now is to Control H. So with Control H, I want to remove the sum off. I'll type it in here. So I'll represent that with blank. Don't put anything to replace with here. Just replace all. Okay. So that will remove it from here as well for you. So because this one is sorted, we can decide to actually say highlight. So we don't need to do it like the previous one we've used large for. So it's very simple. We can always select from here and we get the top 3. So it's highlight is some kind of sorted. If it were something that is not sorted now, so we have to use formula to detect where it falls to. But right now it's very simple. Okay. We have this, we can actually get our chart created. So you can make it easy to people, for people to understand. So here is chart data. Pivot data. So something like that. Then let's do this. I know the chart to be used. I'll come over here to insert, then go over here. I want to use this chart. So the same thing that happened before is what is going on now. So we're going to remove all of those parts here, including this one, then the grid lines. Control 1 to bring this up. Click over here, then go over here, click on axis option, then you go over to this. Then you have it. So I'm going to click on this one. Let's go with this. So I would like to go with 35. 35 is cool. Then I'll do overlapping. That is done. So for my overlapping, click on this one here. quickly highlight using this color. Then click on this left one. Oh no. What color did I use? I think it was something like this color. Not as... I will check it out. So it might be like this color. So Ctrl X to cut it. And we head back to our dashboard environment here. We paste it down. Move it away. So I'm going to take off the fill color on the outline. The height should be reduced because we want to have our title on it. So what we are going to do right now is that I love the way it is. Just click on the inner one and reduce it. That wouldn't affect our label right here. That's what you can do. Can you see that now? Let's quickly go back here and click on this part. Then we do Ctrl+1 to actually go for our custom number formatting. Scroll down. So you check it out. When you click on it, you can see this part right here. So we can use the one with the $sign. Then we'll click on OK. So let's get back. So clicking on this one here, we turn on the data label. Then we can now see how we can really adjust this to match and fit in it. This is beautiful. Can you see this down? Let's get this one duplicated and move it over here. Then this is not top 5 any longer. This is gonna be our, let's make this one as color here. Then we go over here. So we do profit by product color. There we go. All right. The next one might be a little bit, something you don't think of, but it's seriously gonna be what you would love to use. I think I learned that from PK. So shout out to PK YouTube channel. I just love to use that on my dashboard, and I did use it. So now this is the space we're gonna have for that one. Okay, we are on to the last part of our product part. So let's do it. So we get back into here. So we are gonna copy this one. You know what I always love to do? I want to always mark here to mark the end, but before then, let me just copy this first. So I'll copy this. I'll paste this one right over here. Then I'll come to this one and just reduce it a bit. So that would mark the end of that analysis, while this one starts from here. You get it now. So over here, we're going to take off color. Then when we go to, okay, let's see what I'm trying to do for you to understand where we are going. So if you look over here right now, we have this chart. This is a custom chart. It's not a chart that is available in Excel, so we have to customize it. So this one is actually showing expensive product, and it's showing less expensive product. So any of our product that actually is above $150, we categorize it as what? As expensive product. So any of our product that is actually below, $150 is going to be categorized as less expensive product. And we can see the profit we've made from either of them. So what is really the biggest deal right here, right now, is the chart we've used for it. You can see the chart, how it looks like. So it's not our traditional chart, so it has to be customized. But before then, we have to go to Power Query to have something done before we come over here, because we don't have the what supports expensive and less expensive in our data already. So let's get back into it. So we are right here. We have to go to Power Query right now. To get back inside Power Query, click on the top ribbon and click on Data. Then we click on our query and connections right here. As you can see, the Power Query is up, so you can hover over any of the tables we have right here. So here is our fact table. We're going to be having this done in the fact table. So when we move down now, we have this. I'm going to click on Edit. That will definitely move me to my Power Query environment. It's coming up. Okay, there you have it. So if I scroll to this particular end here, you can see those analyses we have done before in Power Query when we just got our data in here for the first time. And over this particular part, we have our unit price. Sometimes we might have the price in the product table. So you need to know where your price is. Everything we are doing it based on example and based on the experience I've had from clients. I don't share my clients' data to anybody. No third party should see that. So it's between me and my clients. But I always share the idea to you guys that want to learn something new. So you're going to ask your client, how do you want me to actually segment this particular price right here to have the less expensive and expensive price that we can use to segment how our product is. Okay, so if I click on this now, you can see the minimum is actually $2.29. That is the minimum. So scrolling down will give us the maximum. Over $300 or $3,000 is the max right here. So let's say we want to go by what our client says. We're going to actually go ahead and add a new column, and we're going to use conditional column to do that. You can do this in Power BI as well. So if you are learning Excel for the first time and you don't know what is Power BI, check out my other tutorials. You're going to see Power BI is similar to what we are doing now in Excel. Okay, right here is going to be product price range. Oh, okay, let me see price type. Then over here, what we're going to do is this. Always try to remember this particular part right here where it says unit price. That is the name of the column we're going to use. So I go for my unit price here. So what I'm going to do right now is this. I'm going to say if my unit price is less than or equal to $150. $150. So that is going to be the less expensive. So I hope I got my expensive right. Otherwise, the remaining one should be categorized under expensive products. This is what it is. I've told you, you have to communicate with your manager or your clients to give you what you need for less expensive and exactly what you need for expensive right here. So now anything that is not within this range would actually fall under expensive, which is any number higher than this, like 151 is going to fall under expensive. So this is not what is easy to be done in a normal Excel interface. So knowing Power Query is a plus. Let's go ahead and click on OK. Now we have it. So if you want to check it out right now, let's first of all change the data type to text. That is the right data type. So I'm going to just deselect and use the less expensive. So we have just filtered. If I scroll to this end and go to my unit price, let's see what we're going to be seeing here. So This is the minimum, and here is the max. The max here is $120. It's not up to even $150, right? That is exactly what it is. So always remember to clear the filter you have in. Otherwise, you have actually restricted some rows to go to your power pivot or the model area. Then you're going to see less rows, and that will affect your analysis. If you don't need to do this filter, don't do it. So what we're going to do now is to come over here and we clear filter. So this step is going to be deleted. All right. Then we go to home and we close and load. Then that will be applied to here. So give it some time. You're going to see the reflection over here. Then we can go ahead with our analysis. So let's cancel this. We have it back here now. So we can scroll. This is where we are supposed to be. Okay, click on this one and let's go to our fact table. So we should scroll down. Then we grab this and pull it in here. This is what we have. All right. One important thing you have to do is to right click and go to pivot table options, and always make sure you come over here to display and have those two boxes checked. Very important. Please do that. Okay. With this, we're going to start building our dynamic chart. How do we go about it? So we want to reference this particular top one. Put your equal sign here and reference this. Then we copy it over. So once we have copied that, we can just drag it down to fill in the values, right? So with the values, we can always do custom number formatting. Okay. So over here, we're going to type in percentage. So I will need max value. Then the next one is going to be cycle position. Then the last one will be data label position. That is optional though, but let's do it. Data. Okay, I'm not going to use the data label position. I'm going to do that manually myself. So once we have done this, we can actually highlight this part and double click here to stretch everything right for us. So for the percentage, it's very simple. We've done this before. Just this equals to this one divided by all of this. No, we put sum first. We do the sum of all of this. So because we're going to be copying down, I've told you, you always make sure you lock this. It's very important. Your F4 key is your friend to do that for you automatically. So you just Ctrl+1 to format it to percentage. So here we go. So we want to put our max value to 1. That is going to be 1%, or 100% rather. 100%, and the cycle position should be 70%. That is going to be 0.7 by 0.7. So very simple. So what is left right now is how to represent all of this inside our chart and create a very nice looking chart that you can actually use on your personal project. Let's go to the top ribbon here. And we go to insert and we click on this particular chart here. Then we insert this particular chart over here. So for me to see what I'm doing, I'm going to actually reduce it and move it up. Make it reduced to this level. So I'm going to get this one off. I don't want to see this. Okay. I think I clicked something before I do this. I don't want to click anything. I'm just going to insert a blank one. Let's do that again. I'm sorry for that. So insert a blank one, something like this. That is beautiful. So have this one hidden somewhere. So So we right click on it and we go to select data. So under select data, we can go to add, and the first thing is actually the series name. That is going to be this max value here. That is going to be this, and the x axis here, the x value is going to be this particular one. Then for this particular y value, so we're going to take the circle position. That is going to be this one here. So let's do that again. Delete the content inside it if you don't want to have that kind of error. Then the bubble size here. So the bubble size, remove what you have inside it, and it's going to be our 100% over here. Then you click on OK. Click on OK. Then you have those two circles here. This is how we customize our chart. So we don't actually need to show this one. I'm going to take it off now so that we can have space to get this customized nicely. So right click again to actually add our select data and add on that series again. So for this one now, we're going to take this particular percentage. Then for the x-axis is going to still be this one here. Then for the y-axis right now, so on the y-axis, we're going to maintain the same position, and the position is going to be this particular circle here. So we maintain that. Then for the bubble size, that is where we have to bring in our percentage, this very one right here. Then when we click on OK right here, you can see we have this small color here and we have this bigger color here. That was because this one is actually 97%. So let's kind of change this one to like I'm gonna do let's say 30%. Then this one should be like maybe 50%. So you can see how it played out. I'm gonna do Ctrl-Z to take it back to the right position. So this is the first thing we need to do. So we can decide to increase our bubble size from this very size we have. Just click on it and make sure you have it highlighted. Then Ctrl-1, let's put our bubble size on 200. You can see that increases the bubble size for us. So click back on this chart again and do Ctrl-1 to bring this up. So when you have this up, look at it. So we have to circle right in here. So what we're going to do right now is to actually click on this particular part right here. That is the x-axis right here. Then you click here, you can see this particular part. So I'm going to make this one 2.5. Then I come over to the top one right here. I'm going to make it 0.5. So as you can see, that's some kind of centralize it for us nicely the way it should be. So 0.5 to 2.5 is what we have. So you can take a look at this particular part right here. So look at the max and look at the minimum over here. So in case you want to adjust anything, you can always come over here to adjust whatever you want to adjust. It depends on what you have, like how many dimension you have. Right here we have two of this dimension, expensive and less expensive. You might have quarters, you might have different things. So that will definitely make you to feel like I want to customize it the way I want, but just have the idea of what I've done right here for you to be able to customize yours the way it should be. So by now we need to actually Ctrl-X to get this into our main dashboard. Then we start the customization from there. So I'm going to bring it over to this particular part. Then I'm going to stretch it out. So take it up a little bit. So with this, let's some kind of remove all of those axes, both Y and the X axis right here. And for the grid line, once you have it highlighted, you have it removed, the horizontal and the vertical aspect of it, you have it removed. Then your chart will become very clean. The next thing is for we to remove the outline and the field color from it. Then we have this. We can actually expand it the way we like. So let's just do that. Let's do that here. Sorry for that. I think it's too much. So I'm going to bring it down a little bit. Something like this. So if I'm not very much satiated with the size of the chart, so what I'm going to do is to actually click on it. And let's say we're going to put it on 300. So that actually increases the size for us. And I love it this way. So now I want to change the color. So for me to do that, I have to come over to here. And for these percentages, let us make it some kind of realistic. I'm going to put like 40% here. Then over here, I'm going to put like maybe like 20% over here. Then later after all, we're going to fix it. But let us do that first. So I come over here. So I can see this. So it can now give me that particular feel like, okay, this is what I have. So now if I click over here, I go into here. I just want this color to change. Then I'll double click on this one until I have the color changed. Then I'll go over here and choose this. Do you see that now? That is beautiful. So the next thing I'm going to do right now is to change this particular inner color of it. So this inner color should be changed. So double click on it until you see the color over here. Then come here and change it to this color. Then on this one, I'll do the same thing. I'll change it to this very color I have here. So I've just changed this. So I can now go back and fix my chart analysis right here. So I will do what I've done before. This one here, divide by the sum of all of this. So now we can head back. So we've gotten it fixed this way. So it's going to respond to slicer. So if you look at this one now, this one carries 90-something%. So we should expect it to fill the gray color we have actually, had here. Okay, let's get back and let's see how we can some kind of add, and let's fix the title first. I'm going to push this over here. So here is going to be product. So pricing, then this one is going to be type. So you can customize it whatever you like. So it's all a choice. So I would duplicate this one, bring it down. Price above $150. So I will come over here to reduce it. So contribute to bold it and change the color to match this right here. So I'll place it over here. Okay, get this one duplicated. This one should be below. How is below spelled? So I have to change the color of this one as well. So you can change the color from this part. Go to text options, click on this one and click here. That gives you this. Nicely done, right? All right, let's some kind of click and have this one duplicated and bring it all the way down right here. So let's resize it. It's not really much. So I want to go for this and I'm going to come right here and take my expensive product, then duplicate it. This one is for my less expensive, and I'm going to have this one over here. Then I'm going to bring this one over here. So I would love to make it a little bit yes, of course, then I can decide to use something like this. So just copy it down to this level. Then what you're going to do right now is to over here, we're going to get the percentages that is peculiar to each and every one of them. So we go over here. So for this one too, we go over to this very one. Okay. Bring it down a little bit. So the only one we're going to change now is this particular one. Change it to the same color, this one. So I'm going to have it duplicated once more, bring it down. All right. So the next thing we're going to get over here now is going to be the profit. So the profit is this one here. Then we go over here and we bring in the profit. So we need to stretch it out to show everything, all the values. So we do the same to this one as well. But the numbers are too huge. All we can do is to reduce the values, all right, to this level. So we check this. So you can look at it. So I would love to grab this one, duplicate it, double click, and here we type in profit. So I'm gonna love to put this on italic. Then I reduce it this way. So I can just make it a bit smaller. Then bring it over here. So I would love to go here and select this one. Then move it to this part. All right, our chart is completed 100%. As you can see, this is what we have nicely. So when the filter comes in, you now see where the filter, play a very good role to show the percentage, and this chart will start changing immediately. We place some filter right on it. Let's go try that on this dashboard over here, because this particular filters we have right here would work on it. So I'm gonna choose this, and let's go over here. Can you see that now? So it's 100% on this year. That was why you have it to give you just gray and keeps all this color over here. And can you see what we have? That is beautiful. So it depends on what year you have selected. All right, the next thing now, let's quickly click on this one here and have it duplicated. So we're about to get into the customer aspect now. Okay, with this now is just that I'm gonna go over this one. So let me just put customer product analysis right here. Product. So to keep the pivot cache used, I would just love to copy this one. So I will make this one customer. So for easy tracking, I would love to do this. So quickly, I'll get off what I don't want from here. just delete all of those. So I'm right here. So on this one, we are just going to change this particular product to customer. So I'll go over to field list here and quickly I'll remove the product. You can see what we have. Then we go to our customer table. We get the customer full name that we've actually created in Power Query. So this is what it is. So we have our customer full name here. So if I scroll down now, so you can see we have more to go. Can you see it now? We have more customers to go. So what do? I'm just going to go over here for orders. So if I double click it, just look at that now. Just move it down until you get to the last customer. I'm going to show you another way to do it. So let's delete this one from here. So let's just go over to the top here and get this one deleted. So for orders, I know what to do. So what I'm going to do now is this. I want to type here my top 5 customers, then orders. So for my top 5 customers, I will do the summation here to aggregate the values that is peculiar to the top 5. So here we have them. So hit my enter key. So I'll come over here to right click and do the sorting, largest to smallest. So it should be sorted. So it has been sorted for me automatically. Okay, once we have done that, the next thing we're going to do right now is to actually say sum for orders. Then remember, order starts from here. Then we go Control Shift down arrow. That is it. Then you hit your enter key. So once we have done that, we've gotten for orders right here, right? So the next thing we need to do now is to create the percentages for them. So let's type here customers at the top of this part here. So here we type profit percentage. So we divide this by the sum of all of these values. And I told you never to forget to log this because you are going to be copying this down. Then you do copy down. So Control 1 to change it to a percentage. We just want decimal place. So you have this. So as you can see, this is it. You have to verify that it's actually connected to this. So the top 5 are connected to all of this. So the same thing, that is it. So the first thing you do is to create your chart. So I'm not going to do that now. Let's see what I'm going to do. I'll go over here to my dashboard environment. I'll copy this particular chart. So duplicate it. I'll bring it all over to the side. So let's see if we can just manipulate this. So we are here now. So what I'm going to do now is to go over to this place. And instead, I'm going to use this and click on OK. You look at that, very smart. So you don't have to do the work over and over again. Then I will copy this chart again, Ctrl D to duplicate it, then bring it over here. So now I'm going to click on this chart. Reduce it. Then this one will have a lot of space. So we right click again. So we go to select data. Then instead of here, we change it to customer table. And that will be this one. Then we'll click on OK. You look at that. So if you look at this now, it's like, what the heck are you doing? Don't worry. So we have 0.3% that's the top 5 contributed. Not really much because we have lots of customers. So let's go back to our dashboard. So I would love to select a particular, let's select country like France to filter our dashboard on the other side and look at what we have. Okay, I think this makes a lot of sense. So what I'm going to do right now is to Ctrl+1 to bring this up. And over here, I am going to do no line. Then for this very one here is going to be on highlight, and that will definitely be this color. Then while this one will go for this very color we have for others, that is this color here. That is it. So I'm going to copy those, duplicate it, and move it to the middle of this one. Just take your time to make sure you have something very nice. So once I've done that, we are not going to replicate anything. I'm just going to copy all of those from here. So duplicate it and move it down. So can you look at that? Then this one here, we'll bring it over. So instead of us to be using products over this one, what we're going to use instead, we use customer. So double click on this one to change this one from products to customers. Customers. That is it. So for our top 5, we need to go get it. That is the percentage. Top 5 percentage. Then others. We grab it from here. So we match this to this. So we match this one here to this. So we can always bring it and just make sure you adjust it. So take your time to format this rightly the way you want. It's very easy. All right, so let's grab this one at the top here and bring it down here so we can resize it. So we need some KPI here. So to get that, we just have to get this copied. Let's paste it over here. And then we move this away from there. So we want to get the average customer age and as well the numbers of customers we have. So let's go over here. Do we have that here now? I don't think we have it. So we have to create a new measure for this. So make sure this is clicked on. We don't want to keep this. So we want to see how many customers we have currently, numbers of customers. So we go over here and we do pivot table. So we go to new measure. So we have a particular measure table, which is all measure. It's a table and that has no other thing but just measures. So we created that in the first video or second video, I presume. So here I'm going to calculate the numbers of customers. Then over here, to do that, I'll do distinct count. So my distinct count is going to count the customer key inside the fact sales table. So we have the customer key over here. So if you want to check it out, if this is actually correct, what are you going to do? You just check, and that is actually what it is. So give it number and select a whole number here. So that will come here. Let's give it some time. So those are the numbers of customers that we have, right? So we have those numbers of customers. I wouldn't love to use this formatting. So Ctrl+1 to change the formatting here to normal number. So here we go. So we have our 1,000 customers, almost 2,000 though. So we need to add one more now, and that will definitely calculate for us the average age of our customers. So I guess we have not gotten that customer age created. So let's check it out. So if I go to all now, I'm going to get this one off. So let's see, customer table is here. So we don't have the customer age, but we have the customer birthday. So how do we create this? Very simple. Let's go to Power Query. Click on data and click on queries and connections. Right click to edit. And we are back to our Power Query environment. We'll quickly click on our customer table. Dim customer. Here we go. So in the customer table, we don't have anything like age. So, but we have the customer birthday. So from this customer birthday, we can get the age of our customers. How do we go about it? This is going to be a little bit advanced. So just follow me accordingly. You will definitely get it. So let's go to add column. And this time around, we're going to add custom column where we're going to introduce ourselves to the M code available in our Power Query. Okay. I'm going to type here customer age. Customer age. So with the customer age, I'm going to come over here. So when starting M code, you actually use the let and you close with the in. So we have just opened and closed this now. So in between this, we're going to type in what we need. So first of all is the source. That is what we want to actually run the calculation right on. So I'm going to type here source equals, then that is going to be, go to birthday here, you insert it. So our birthday. I think, okay, let's do hash date. So open brackets, our birthday, insert the birthday, and we have the bracket closed. Then we put comma. So we have to make this dynamic. So we're going to get today's date. So we type in today right here. So today equals. So we use date dot from open bracket here, date time dot local. Let's put our local on capital letter because it's case sensitive. So let's do this. So it's case sensitive. You have to be very careful with how you type this. So we're going to do date dot from open bracket date time dot local now. Then you close that, open and close. Then finally you close this and you put your comma. So if you're seeing error, don't worry. Once we are done, the error will get cleared. Don't worry, at the end of it, I'm going to explain everything to you. The next thing is actually age. So what age is equal to duration. So duration dot from. So open bracket, duration dot from again. Then open age. Then you close. So we're going to divide this by hash duration. So hash duration, and the duration is going to be inside bracket 365 days, 365 days. So comma 0, comma 0, comma 0 here. Then we close this. And finally, we go down here, step 1 down, then you type year. So this should work. Let's check it out if it works. I'm going to come back and explain to you. So I'm going to click on OK. So we have an error. We need to fix this. Just click back on this. So let's see what error we have. So expression error, name age wasn't recognized. Okay, we make a silly mistake here. Let's see, under age duration dot from. So let's some kind of highlight this particular part, the inner part right here. So it's gonna be today. We're gonna subtract today from the birthday of our customer. Insert it. Then let's step this down. So over here, I'm gonna type in year, or years equals, so don't forget you need to have comma here. Then so year equals duration. So equals duration dot, so duration in capital letter dot from duration dot from I think is age. Now age, this is what we have missed. Then we divide this by 360 something days. Let's look at this. So, you know, I told you it's some kind of case sensitive. So let's read what it says. It says expression error. The name today wasn't recognized. So let's turn this today into capital letter T. So if we look at this now, we click on OK. So we have another error. That is the year we have over here. And I know where the error is. Let's quickly click on it and fix it. So we're going to put S on this one here to match this one we have over here. So now we can go ahead and click on OK. And finally we have it. So all we have to do is to change the formatting to whole number. And then we have the age of our customers. So let us go ahead and take a look at what we have done right here and look at exactly what each line of this particular M code is doing. So this particular part is just like writing code in either PHP or HTML or other programming language. So you have to some kind of have like, okay, let me just make it very simple. In DAX, you have variable. So after a variable, you have to return. That is what those two really is. So your code will be in between let and in. Okay. After that, now the next part of it is actually the source right here. What is the source all about? So the source is actually the column that your date is actually sitting in. So the birth date is sitting in this particular birthday, you know, column right here in our customer table right here, the dimensional table we have right here. That is the source. So we have to provide the source for the system to know where it's going to retrieve, you know, the values from. Then the next one over here is this particular today. So as you can see, the today gets the correct date or the current date, which is actually peculiar to the date you have on your system based on whatever country you are right now. So it's getting today's date. Just like if you want to calculate your own date of birth or how old you are, maybe your main date of birth is 1987. So you're going to subtract 1987 from 2003, which is going to give you 36 years, approximately 36 years, right? That's exactly what the system is doing. Then coming down to this particular part right here where it says age. So let us look at the age. So the age, it calculates the duration in days, hours, minutes, and seconds between today's date and the birthday for each person in the data. You get it right now. That is what that particular line of code does. Then let us look at this very one over here. That is the year that has duration dot from age in bracket. Okay. Okay, this very step in highlight, what it does is that it some kind of converts the age in days into years. It divides it, or it divides the age in days by the duration of 1 year, which is 365 days, to get the actual age in year. You get that now. So it's very simple. It's not something complicated. It's just that if you've not done this before, you might be thinking like, what the heck are you doing? So this is exactly what you need to understand. So, and you return this year so that it could actually return exactly what you want for you. So after that, nothing more. So if we go back right now, we must have seen that this is what we have. Where the heck is it? Okay, this is what we have. So before we go, we have one more to go. So we want to some kind of categorize. Should I call that categorize? Or put us age in different buckets. Like categorize them in different buckets. Very simple. Let's do it. So what we're going to do in that particular case, we are not going to write M code for that. So we click on this particular conditional column here. So on the conditional column, we're going to call this one age group. Age group. So with the age group, I'm going to say if, then our customer age here. So if it is less than or equal to 21. So on this one again, let me just let you know one thing. You need to communicate with the owner of the dashboard, your clients or your boss, whoever the person is, to know what interval you would like to use. So you might like to use like 5 interval, 2, 3, 10, 7 or 6, irrespective, whatever you want to use. So, and the next thing is to know how to use this operator right here and know what this one wants to return. You get it? So all we have to do is to reference the column we want to use to get this done. And we have just referenced it, and let's see what it is. So if it is less than or equal to 24, I'm going to take it somewhere before we come back here. So let us look at the minimum of our customer age is 24 years. And if I scroll down, the maximum is 64. So we're going to make provision for anybody below 24 years of age. So let's do that again. This is a age group. So under the age group, we'll come over here. We click on the age group here. So if it is less than or equal to, so anybody less than 24 here, so we're going to categorize them from 0 to 24. So just know that as soon as this particular query runs and gets to 24, it's going to stop running. Then we add another one. So we choose the same customer age again. So it's still going to be if it is less than or equal to this time around. So the next number after 24 is 25. So we put 25 right here. That is where it's going to start. So this one now is going to be 25 to 29. So you can see what is the interval between 25 and 29. So it's 25, 26, 27, 28, 29. That is 4 interval. So if you want to make it 5 interval, you put this one on 30, but I just want to make it this way. Then you add one more again. So you select this, is still going to be less than or equal to. So we are going to do 30 this time around. We do 30. That is going to be from 30 to 34 because we are using 4 interval. So it's going to be 30 to 34. Then we keep adding. So it's less than or equal to. Then this one is going to be 35. So it will be 35 to, that is, 35 to 39. 39. So the next one starts from 40. So this will be 40, and we do 40 to 44, 40 to 44. Then this one here is the final one we're going to add. Then if it is less than or equal to 45, 45, then it will be 45 to 49, 45 to 49. So otherwise, we want to categorize the remaining one into 50 plus. So you get that. It's not complicated, very simple and straight to the point. So once we are done, we can click on OK, and let's see what it is that we have. So always change this to a text, because despite that we have numbers, it's actually a text because of the hyphen or the dash we have in between. Ladies and gentlemen, this is all we need to do right here, and we have just achieved that. I know it's some kind of a bit advanced, but learning this will actually groom you to actually do well when you get to Power BI. So let's get back to our main Excel interface. Go to Home and close and load. Okay, we can go ahead and have this closed. Let's get into our customer. Now we're going to add one more measure to calculate the average age of our customer. So we can now calculate the average age of our customer, because right now in our customer table, we now have two more columns added: customer age and the age group. Let's go over here. Then we'll click on the Power Pivot in New Measure. So over here, we do average customer age. So with the average customer age, we do average. And we bring in customer age into it. That is all we need to do. So we can check it. No issues. So we just use the whole number. Should be around 44, I presume. Yeah, sure. So we've gotten our average customer age, and this is way, way beautiful. So now I can now feel like we are really close to the end of this dashboard. Let's get back to our dashboard itself and see how we can represent that on the dashboard. So very simple. So we are back on the dashboard. The next thing we're going to do right now is to see how we can get this into our dashboard. So let's go ahead and grab any of this. So we bring it here. So we can type in average customer age, right? So we put it right here. The next one is going to be total. Customers. So I always hate guessing. I'm going to align to the right equally. Okay, once I've done that, that is it. So I would love to take this, Ctrl D to duplicate it, so you can resize it to fit the size you have. I'm going to keep this right here. I'm going to keep this one right over here. So quickly click on it and go over here then align to the left, then get this color and give it to this one. Then the next thing now is to go all the way to insert. Then we click on icons. So let's type in people. So it's going to filter to this, and let's click on this and this one. Then we'll click on insert. So if you are not using this advanced Excel or current version of Excel, if you're not running current version of Excel, what you can do is to go to flaticon.com to get images from there. So fine. So we need to change their colors. Control 1. So we're going to use white for them. So first of all, let me get this one into here. So I'm going to get this one as well into here. Then I'll choose to use white color for them. Oh no. So click on the image itself. So this is what it is. So what is left now is to get in our values into here. I'm gonna shift it up a little bit. So let's get this one duplicated. That is the average customer age. So quickly we format it. So I want to make it smaller because of my space. So we get this. So I'll have to bold this one and change its color to this. All right, here we go. So we represent it more than just displaying figures and cards. So create something much fancy. That is beautiful. All right, we have another chart. It's not much more something new to you, but it's something you need to take a look at. Let's get this particular one again, duplicated. So we bring it over here. So let's bring it here. So we're going to divide this into two. So we have resized this one. I'm going to get this one duplicated. So we just align this to this level. Okay, with this now, I'm going to change its color. Let's do Control 1. So these are the two colors I want to use right here. Then I'll go over here, copy this, paste this beneath here. And that caution I would like to give to you is that don't always do paste beneath your pivot table. If you know your pivot table is going to continue growing this way, it's going to continue growing from up below. So once it gets to this particular place, it's going to affect this one. So to avoid affecting this one, paste it right here. But because we knew for sure that this one, if it has to grow, it will be growing this way instead. So we are not really scared of pasting it beneath it. So that is one thing you need to understand. Okay, on this one here, I'm going to remove it. What we want to still show is the profit, because we are much more on the profit side than something else. So we scroll down, so we bring in our profit. So we go back to our customer table. Here we go to our customer table and we'll bring in the gender. So we have male and female. That is it. So what else? Don't always forget to some kind of, let me insert a new one. So on this middle one, you select this one. Yeah, this new analysis continues from here. Then over here now, I'm going to reference this one, copy this way. So I'm going to paste copy type here percentage. I'll bring this down. So I'll control 1 to create. I'm gonna go over. Okay, over here I'll control 1 to convert to a percentage. 1 decimal place. Although it's wrong for now, so we're gonna get it deleted. Let's delete everything we have over here. So let's type in equal sign here and we do the sum. Let's do this. I'm thinking, how could we go about this? Okay, we are going to divide this one by the sum of all of this. You know that, right? So we have to quickly lock this down because we're going to be copying it down. So we lock all of this. So the reason why you see it filled this way was because I highlighted it before I do this. So over here, I'm going to type in 100%. So Control 1, I'll go over here. I'll make it 100. Okay, what is going to happen is, what if I just use 1? 1 is 100%. Just use 1 instead of you formatting it as 100%. Then over here, I can just go ahead and highlight this part. Then I go over to insert, go over here and I insert this chart. You get it now. So Control 1 to bring this up. And over here, click on this particular x-axis here. So once you click on it, you go over here. This one should start from 0 and the marks should be 1 for 100%. So it has reset this particular part for us. It's very important. So once it has done that, we are good to go. Can have this closed now. Then I'll go all the way to the top level. Then I'll switch this. Nicely done. Then again, Control 1 to bring this up. If I want to overlap this now, when I overlap this, you can see what we actually want is going behind this very color, the 100%, right? So what can we do? Let us bring it back. So you right click and go to, I think, select data. Was it that? Yes. So you click on this arrow here, it will move it up and you click on OK. Then you click on it, go over here, you can now overlap this. You see that? So I can decide to even fill it. Then I'll remove this from here. We don't need it again. So we remove this. We go over here. We take off everything that has to do with fill. So I can Control X now to take it to my dashboard. So paste it down here. Then over here, what I'm going to do is to resize this to what I want. So I want to make it thicker. So I'll bring this over here. I'll remove this axis here. So click on it. No line. So we have grid line. So we take off the grid line out of it. So the grid line is gone. That white space we are seeing is gone as well. So we can resize it to match this part here. Bring it down a little bit. So click on this side, double click on it, and see the color reflect over here, this same color we have over here. Then you can change it. So we always change it to match the previous one. Then I click on this one, then I choose this one here. Beautiful. Then I can Ctrl D to duplicate it, and I bring this over here, right? Once I've done that, I can right click and select data. Then I'll click on edit. So when I'm on edit for this particular percentage, this one here, I'm going to match it to this very one. I'll click on OK. Then I'll click on this one. I'll click on edit. So that is okay. On this one, I have to match it to this very one here. Then that is it. Click on OK now. So if I double click on this one, you can go over here to some kind of select the same thing. Then this one, I select this color. You look at that. So what I'm going to do right now is just to click on this very, let's click on this one. Profits by gender. So I can just double this one. So I'll put female. So let's come here. The first one is the female. So the female is actually 48%. So that is where we are right now. So make sure you verify it very well before you do this. So I'm going to put my female at the top here. So female. Duplicate it again. Double click on this one. Here is my male. Then just duplicate it again, and let's go and pick the percentage that is peculiar to male gender. Is 51%. So I can decide, yeah, let's do that. Let's go ahead and reduce it and make it white. So for space management, so what I'm going to do right now is to click on this and move it. We'll get this one over here as well. So we go grab this one. We pick it up. The color white. Okay, now we have actually satisfied this particular part as well. So what I'm going to do right now is to click on this chart itself and this chart, Then I'm going to go over here, go to shape format, align to the left. That's selected the wrong thing for me. So make sure what you selected is the chart. Yes, let's do it again. So you see that? That is beautiful. Right. What is next again now is actually the age bucket we have created. So I'm going to get this one over here, duplicate it and keep this one here. Make sure you align it properly. So we can bring this over here. Then let's get back here to get the age group we have created. So here is our pivot table. So we grab this. So we paste this in. So now we don't want any of this. So we want to go for the profit. So we go to the customer table. So age group here. So we've gotten our age group. So we can quickly format the age group into what we want. Go to the custom number formatting we have actually created in the other videos. So choose the one that you would like to use. So we have different types of them over here. So I would love to go for this one. That is it. So you can just decide on any one you want. So if we go with this now, I think I'll change my mind to choose something different. Okay, let's go with this one. So we're going to be creating our chart with this very one right here. So, but what we're going to do is to actually think of the highlight. So we want to highlight the top one, like the highest age group. So you must have known how to do that by now. So we have to reference this again to create the kind of chart we like. So let us stop doing basic chart and let's do something much more advanced. So we want to remove that, replace that, have that removed for us. Okay, so I'm going to type here highlight. So on the highlight here, what we're going to do is to some kind of use the if to check. So we're going to say if this particular number here is equal to max, and the max, we're going to find the max from all of those numbers. So because we highlighted them and we want to copy down, so locking this down is actually something we need to do. So we close this, and if that is the case, we want to retrieve this number. Otherwise, give us blank. Hit enter. So we are having blank there. Then I can just go ahead and do this, and the max falls here. Okay, let's go ahead and create our chart. Insert. This is the chart we want. So do you see what it is that we have? It doesn't look nice. What do we do for the first time? Delete. Select this area. Insert your chart. That is okay. Remove all of those axes you don't want. Then right click and select data. Add. You add highlight. Remove this one here. Then you try to select from here to this side. Click on OK. Then OK. So we have to remove the red line. Ctrl+1. You can move this anywhere. So click on this one here. Go here and make it tick. Yeah, the weight should be increased. So now we overlap it. This is what we want. So we have to show our data label. That makes us some kind of format this. So because of space management, let's do with this one. Then click on this now and you add. So I'm not really cool with what I have here. So despite the space management, I will definitely change it to something like this. So we're going to cut this one and go to our dashboard. Then we paste it down here. So we are here. So we reduce it a bit. So now that we have reduced it, you can see what we have now is some kind of not really awesome, right? So what do we do to fix this issue of the value? That is what we're going to do now is going to be, let's take off the value for the first time. Then we fix this first. So I'm going to select here and click, choose this. Select this one, choose this highlight here. So from afar, somebody can tell which age group we are making a lot of profit from, or we have much more, profit generated from. So I'm going to take it down like this. Okay, let's get back and do something very cool. Over here, what I'm going to do is this. Okay, let's first of all find the max here. I'm going to type here max value. So my max value, I'll do equals max here. And we'll locate here to find the max. So that is our max, right? The same thing with this one. Then over here, I'll type in percentage contribution. So I'll do this. I'll divide it by the sum of all of this. So another way to get it done is actually coming here to say equals sum of all of this, close and divided by the sum of all of this here. So if I hit my enter key, I think, what did it? Okay, I think that would not work. Let's see. I think the mistake was this. Let's switch this. Switch this over here and switch this over here. Hit your enter key. You can see that we still have the same thing. So irrespective of what you want to do, maybe this or this. So the reason why I do this was because I want to dynamically pick the age group that contributed this 47%, which is the max value here. So we don't need to keep this. So I'm going to find that I'm just going to type age group here. So here I'm going to use index. So with my index, my array is going to be this one here, comma. I'll use match. I'll match this value. Then our lookup array will be this, find it here, comma, exact match, and we close. That gives you 50 plus, and that is where the max falls in. Okay. I'm going to call this one caption. So for my caption here, my caption will be inside here. I'm going to say so concatenate the 50 plus age group. Then I'll type age group contributed. That is all. So let's go ahead and see how we can represent this on our dashboard. So click on your dashboard here. So when I do this, I don't need to put title again. So let's click on this and remove the fill color and the outline. Then need to make our chart to look clean. Right. So I'll come over here now. I can just grab this. Then I'll go over here and grab this. So here we go. I'll push this up. So let me copy this one. Let me go grab the percentage. So I'm going to duplicate this one here. So I'll type here a static text of the profit. So you see that now. This is what it is. So I'm going to just get this particular one again duplicated. I'll bring it over here. Then reduce it. Sorry for that. This is the place for a slicer, right? So I can go all the way to our previous dashboard here. And now the ear slicer here, I'm going to take a copy of it. So head back here now. I'll paste it right. I can now extend this. Let me go over here to format it. Exactly. So I wouldn't like to keep this. So what I'm going to do now is just to go ahead and hide this one. Have this one hidden. So we can play around by some kind of selecting a particular ear from this slicer. And remember, whatever ear we select from here would not only affect what we have here, it will affect your dashboard as well. That is what this one is actually set for. So let's bring it down. So go up here, slicer again, go for the width. No, not the width, go for the height. Yeah, that is it. So I can definitely bring this down. Oh, sorry. Filter by year. Okay, we have one more to go. So let me just give you this full screen view. So we're going to bring this down in a jiffy just to create space for another slider for all, but for now we're going to keep it the way it is. So let me duplicate this one and have this one over here. So I can just copy this one down. So let's see what we're going to use that one for. So we are right here now. This is what we are going to use this for. That the one I've just copied for. If you look at this now, this is actually a map and it's not a default map in Microsoft Excel. So we're going to create a custom map to get this done. And it's very simple and it gives you more flexibility to show your creativity as well. So let's do it. So let's go to the back end. And from the back end now, we are done with this. Let's do the same thing. Set a boundary for it. So over this one now, I'm going to copy. Then bring it all over here. Okay. Fresh analysis. We are pushing this off. And we go to our geography here and we pull in the country inside here. We pull in our country here. So with our country, we have friends, and it's as a result of the slicer we have from the other table. So we want to disallow that. So go over to this pivot table analysis and filter connection. Then we select country and we click on OK. So that wouldn't clear the filter from here. So all we have to do is to manually go here and clear it off. Then we have this. Now that we have this now, we are going to actually create X and Y axis over here. So let me have my X axis here, and over here I have my Y axis. Over here I'm going to have my country. So equals to reference this. So I have my country here. So in case you are surprised, like, what the heck is your Y and X axis doing? Don't worry, you will definitely know that and get to use it. The next step we need to take is for we to go to the top ribbon here. And from there, we go to insert and we insert a scatter plot. This very first one right here. So look at it now, it's a blank scatter plot. So what I need to do is to actually double click, or you Ctrl+1 to bring this up. So from here now we can click, click on this, and here we go for picture or texture fill. So once we click on that, you can now see this is what you have. So what we need is to actually insert an image inside here. So we go to insert, and under insert we can decide to check online to see if we can get one. So I think I'm not online. Let me just try to connect my system to my Wi-Fi. Okay, let me go and try again. And that would definitely go to Bing or any other. Let's see. Okay, we are on Bing right now. So the very first thing we're going to do is try to go look for vector. So vector map. So we put world map and we define the color we want. So we want blue color. So we hit the enter key to make a search. So we have this. Let's wait for it to open up. I think we should. Okay, here is not. It's not Victor. It's vector. It's E. So let's do that again for we to have the correct search. Yes, of course, we have it. So we can scroll through now and see the different one we have right here. And the one I want to go for, you can decide to go for this one or you go for this one. Either of it will be cool. So just choose the one you want to go for. So as for this, let me go for this one and let's see what we have. So you can click on insert. So here we go. This is what we have here. So the very first thing I love to do when I get this up is for me to some kind of reduce the transparency. So I wouldn't love to have something as bright as this. So this is what it is that we want. Then the color we're going to have on it will definitely pop out very well. So you can reduce it to like, okay, let's make it a bit bright now. This is what it is that we want to have. So now that we have this here, I want us to create the traditional map we have right here. So we can't create it with this data. You know, Excel will not allow us. Let's try that. If I click on this map right now, let's see what we have. So we have a warning that we can. So to do that now, let us reference this. So go to the top level and now click and insert your map. So the map has been inserted for us. It's just for we to look at it and see how we can make it as direction. So let me get this off. I can make it a bit smaller. So this is the default map we would have had. So if I hover over here now, it tells me this is United States. So if I hover here, this is still United States covers to this level. And over here is Canada. This is actually my Australia. You understand? Over here, if I just hover over, this is France. And this is Germany. Then this is United States. Or United Kingdom rather. So now I'm going to define my Y and X axis that I'm going to use to actually map this to exactly where we have all of this. Okay, that is the positioning. So you might get it wrong initially, but notwithstanding, we can still get it right. So I'm going to put 8 here for my X, and for Australia, I'm going to put 2 here. Then I'm going to come over here. I put 1 over here. I'm going to put 8. We can adjust this after all, but let us just do it now this way. So 1, and let's do 6. So let's do 4, and let's do 9.5 or 9.4. So for United Kingdom, we are going to do 4, and we do 8. Over here we do 4, and we do 8. So let's do 5 here. So we have defined our Y and X axis right now. So we can right click and select data. So the first thing we do is to click on add. So once we've done that, you can see it automatically plotted the Y and X axis for us. So for the name, we can choose country. It's optional. I'm not going to use it. I'm going to take it off after all. For my X axis, I'm going to select this particular part here. So it has been plotted for me. Can you see it now? Then I'll go over to the Y axis here, remove this one, and I'm going to select my Y axis right here. Then I click on OK. Then over here, click on OK. So do you see this now? So if you look at this here, if I hover over it, deselect and hover back on it again. Do you look at it now? It's 1. The 1 is actually X, and the 8 is actually the Y axis. And that is actually for Canada. So for Canada right now, let us do 1.5. So 1.5. Then we do 8.5 here. 8.5. So look at it. We have moved it to this area. And when we come here and hover over it, you can see the position of our Canada here. And we're going to actually expand the circle. And that is even going to be determined by the values we have after all. You get it right now. So now on this one here, if we do this, it's giving us 1.6. That is actually France. So we can locate where France is and push France at its actual place. This is France. So France is this is the position of France. So how do we position France? So for France right now, let us do 1.5. 1.5. So we do that by 7. So you can just copy this to keep it snappy. You can just copy this and you have the same thing. I've just done that behind the scene. So I don't want to have this here. I can actually remove it. So before I resize it, we don't want this guide again. We can remove this guide away from here. And this is not going to be here. We'll take it off. So I will do Ctrl+1. Then let's come over here to size. We'll lock the aspect ratio here. So we go to this and say don't move or size with cell, and this will not be distorted. So no matter how you try to, adjust it, you're still going to have it the way it should be. So let's now click over to this axis here. So we go over to here now. So let's click on this particular part. So we don't want it to be on auto. We put this on 0. So we put this on 10. So now we make it more of this. So click on this one and do the same thing to it. So take it from auto to 0. And we do 10 over here. This is what we want. So after I might have done this, you can go ahead and have it removed. So we've done the settings. We remove this. Click over here and take off the grid line we have on it. You get it right now. So go ahead and click on the chart itself. Right click and go to change our chart type. Then we can use this particular bubble chart right here. Then we click on OK. This is what we have right now. So if you look at it, the y-axis and the x-axis has been, distorted. So what we can do is to right click and go to select data. So we click on edit. So when we click on edit, the x-axis is this one here. We have it right here. It has been fixed for us. Then the y-axis is actually as well fixed. Okay. Then let's go with the bubble size. For the bubble size right now, that is where this one comes in. This is it here, the bubble size. Then we can go ahead and click on OK. So let's do OK right here. This is what we have. So you can see we have it plotted the way it should be. So if you now hover on any of those bubble sizes we have right here right now, you can now see values. Then you hover over this one, you are seeing value, and you are seeing value. So if this value, what you want to get here is not actually the values, but you want, if people hover over it, you want them to see the country, you can do that. So it's pretty easy. So what you can do in this aspect is some kind of go over here and click on your data label. And when you click on data label, you have this. You can always go over here. Then you click on from cell. Then you generate that. You can go for this. And this is what you have. But actually, we don't want to have this. So what we need to have instead for the data label is for we to get this value in. And if I click on OK now, I have my values. And I'm going to go ahead and turn on the y-axis that we have on it. So right now we have just the values, right? Then, so for this value, I would like to keep it short. So we have that other formatting that is of a short type, and that this is the one I'm talking about. So I'm going to click on OK. So here we go. We have something like this. The next thing we want to do is that we want to highlight the top 2 countries. So how do we do that? It's very simple and easy. So I am going to come over here. I'm going to type in 1 and 2 here. So once I've done that, I would definitely use the large function to search for the 2 max value from here. You get that now. So because I'm going to be copying this down, definitely I need to lock this down. Absolutely lock it down. Then once you have done that, you go for comma, then for the K. So instead of me to hand code this one, I'm going to reference this here, then close and hit your enter key. That will definitely retrieve this for you. So we can format it. So let's keep our back end clean. So if you look at it now, is this Australia and the United States, right? So the next thing I'm going to do right now is to some kind of come over here, and I'm going to type in highlights. So using the ifs to check ifs here. So ifs will say if this value is equal to this very value right here. So what you want to do is to have it locked down. So we don't want it to move. If that is the case, if it is true, we want to retrieve this value. Otherwise, this value again is equal to this value. So make sure you have it locked down. So once that is the case, we still want to retrieve this value. Then we go ahead and close, then hit our enter key. If I drag this down now, let's see what we have. So we have NA because it is not. So what we need to do now is to actually use error handling. So to say if error. So if error, we want to see nothing. So now we should have those one cleared. So they are gone. So the next thing I'm going to do right now is to right click on this chart and actually select data. This time around, I'm going to add. So for the name is country. Then for the x-axis here is this one. For the y-axis is still the same y-axis I have over here because I want to overlap whatever it is. So now for the bubble size, I will choose those one. Then if I click on OK, right here, I have this. So this time around, we have to click on this bubble size we have here and change its color to match the color we've been using before. That is going to be this one. Then I now click on this one here and change its color again to this very one. So you look at that. So let me use something a bit darker for this one, this time around. Or first of all, let us go to our dashboard to see what it is going to look like. So we are back to our dashboard environment here. We paste it down and we resize it to meet up what we want. So no fill, no line. Oh, sorry, we don't have to remove the fill. Ctrl Z. So what we need to do is just to say no line. That is all. We don't want to keep any line for it. For the fill, we are using picture. So we just remove the line. So now we adjust it. So as you can see, as we are adjusting it, it's not distorted because we have locked the aspect ratio. So for that, it's going to prevent that for us. So we can just take this down. So I'm going to create space up here for something very important to come. So we have this. So this is not showing up the way it is. I just have to click not the value, but on this bubble itself and change the bubble color. Why is the bubble not selected? So we don't want something dark. Okay. We are going to be good with this one. So this is what it is. So now when you hover over it, you can see the size. And for the size, I would love to go for the size. Let's go over to our analysis here. For this one, go to custom and choose different one. Let's go with this one here. So here we go. This is what we have. Okay, the next thing we're going to do now is to some kind of see the contribution of the top two we have here, which is not in any way complicated at all. It's very simple. So what we can do is something we have been doing before. So we can just do the percentage over here. Just do sum of those two values here. Close and divide it by the sum of those values. So once you click Ctrl 1 percentage, that gives you 60%. So you get it now. So the next thing again is to actually find which particular country are those. So don't forget your index and match to help you do that. The array is this one. So I would love to copy it down. And to do that, we need to lock this part up. Very important. So we close and we hit our comma. So sorry, we hit our comma for the match to come in. So the match now, think would match something here. Then comma. Where can I find that? You can find it over, I think it's gonna be over here. Yes. So we want the exact match. So it's Australia. So we can't copy down because we've not locked down this particular part. So let's go ahead and actually have it done. So we have this. Over here, I can just create my caption. So I'm going to say equals this ampersand here and this country. So contributed. That is all. So we go back to our dashboard and see how we can represent this. Let's get this, have it here. So go to our view and the formula bar. Then we select this one, put our equal sign. Then we go all over to here and pick this up. So this is what we have. So we still want to keep the same formatting. So I choose to get this for this. The next thing is to get this one copied. Let's go and pick up the percentage that is peculiar to it. This is the 60% over here. So we still want to get the same color. Nicely done. So we don't need to do this all over again. We can just copy it and bring it over here. So do you look at that? Let's bring it a bit closer to it. So we have something like this. This is all you have to do. Very interesting. So we need one more slicer. So this time around, what I'm going to do is to select a particular object and Control A. Okay, before I do that, let's go to the top here, go to view and deselect this. Fine. So I'm going to deselect this one away, then start moving this down. So move it down. I want to create space to the top. Okay, nicely done. Enough of it. So we have this. Let's get down to here. And now let's click on this. So we go over to our main dashboard and we'll paste this down here. So it was actually as a picture. We don't want to be as a picture. So we want to copy it as a slicer. Copy. Let's paste. So now it's as a slicer. So what we're going to do now is to some kind of go to slicer option. Then select slicer and deselect the header, something like this. We push it here. So what I'm going to do right now is that I want to actually go over here, click on the slicer itself, click on the slicer. So go over to here and have this one duplicated. Then from there, I will definitely say the whole slicer should give me a white background. So fill it with white. Let's do this. So I'm going to give it to, I think that should be the second one here. So can you see that now? So we can move it to the side. This is beautiful. Okay, let us maintain how we can clear our slicer at once. So what we can do, we are not going to write a single code for this. We're going to record a macro that will definitely perform this action for us automatically. So to select everything you have here. We don't want to have anything selected. Can you see? So we have cleared all our slicers. So with this now, go to the top ribbon and go to developer. So from developer, you can see where it says record macro. So click on it and you can name it anything you like. So here is the name of the macro. I can just name it clear filter. Then I'll start recording. So the recording has started. So I'm going to click on a filter here. So click on another one here. So I'll come over here again on country. I'll click. So it has recorded the process of me clicking on either of those particular slicers. Then I'll start clearing it. It will record clear. It will record clear for year as well. Then I'll go over to my country. It would definitely record clear. Remember, it's going to do this to the other dashboard as well. Then from there, you can go ahead and click on stop. So it has been stopped. I don't feel want to confuse you by showing you the code. You understand? So forget about the code that's involved. So all I'm going to do right now is to go over here, or I can definitely just duplicate this. So bring this over here, make it smaller. So I'll type into it, clear filter. Then I have to make it, let's do, the clear filter should be this color. And we want to use white. So we centralize the text inside it. So this is what we have, right? So right click on it and you see where it says assign macro. So this is the macro recorded, clear filter, and I'm going to click on it. So right now, if we point at it, we now have a finger pointing at it. So which means we can go over here, right click and go to settings. Then we have the header hidden to actually return it back to the previous view. So we go over to slider settings here and we have this view. So let's go with 2006 rather. So we are on 2006 now and we want to go to Canada and we go to a particular month, like the month of January. So as you can see, we have multiple selection. So when we click over here, as you can see, it's processing it, and after the processing of this particular of VBA, is going to automatically clear off the slicers for us without we doing it all by ourselves. Can you see that? This is beautiful. So let's go to this particular one here. As you can see, there is no slicer on it. So if I go over here now and place Australia, so we can now go back to this second dashboard we have right here. So you now see that we have Australia as a slider being placed here. So let's kind of extend it this way, then it will show everything. So if I select from here Canada, so and I go back to the other dashboard, I will see Canada selected. automatically for me. Can you see that now? So this is the sync we have between two of them. So the next thing now is that we want to actually have navigation, in-page navigation automatically within them. So I'm going to select here. So this is my first in-page navigation. This one, I will call it time analysis, something very short. So we are going to that place now. We are not there. We're going to make it this color. Let's do Ctrl+1 and fix it from here. So we don't want any outline for it. No outline. And the color should be this color. Then the text color should be something dark. Here we go. So we double it, Ctrl+D. So if we are on the page, we go with white text. So if we are on the page, we want to show this color that shows that yes, we are on the page. So now we are not on the page. Before we do any other thing, let's do this, copy, and bring this over here. I can now arrange this. I'm not going to bring the clear slider to this page. I will leave it there. So here we are on this page now. When we click on this, it navigates us to this particular other page right here. Let's do it. Other page right here. So which means if we are on this page, I'm going to have this one duplicated. Keep it beneath. Okay, let's just have it here. Then, so we now have this particular format for the page we want to visit. So we can now get this one deleted now. So to get to this particular page, this page should be called detail dashboard. So let us stretch it a little bit. So detail dashboard. Then if I come over here now, we should be on our detail dashboard here. So we stretch it. So we can right click on this one and go to link. So when we are on link, we click on this place or place in this document. So we click on this and we click on OK. Watch what happens if I click on this. It takes me here. So I'll right click again. I'll click on link. So if I click on link now, I'm going to dashboard 2. I'll click on OK. Then if I click on this, it takes me here. Okay, one other thing I want to kind of show you, if I actually hover over it, this is what I have. I have a link that actually has my, file path and everything. So I don't want to see this. What I can do is to right click and I can click on edit link. So I click on this tooltip here. I'll just say, go to next, or I can just say next dashboard. Then I'll copy it. I'll click on OK. Click on OK right here. So if I hover over it, it says next dashboard. This one wouldn't give me anything because I did not some kind of link it. So if I click on it now, I'll come over here and do the same thing to this one. Just edit link, tooltip. Then we paste this one all over here. Click on OK. Yes, that is it. So you can see on this one, it wouldn't give you anything, so you don't have to bother about that one. So can you see this now? Can you see this? So this is exactly the full version of the dashboard you have seen. And beautifully, we have everything created from the scratch for you. And if you have followed to this extent, so it's actually a game changer for you because you have learned a lot of things that you can actually implement on your own personal dashboard right now. So make sure you hit the subscribe button, like and share to your friends, leave a comment and let me know what you feel about this.